So this is a tutorial explaining how to use the valueAtTime expression and some wiggle expressions to create this effect of leaves blowing in the wind. Here we go. So we're going to start by dropping this leaves PSD into a new composition, and we'll add a solid color background. I'm just going to call that BG, put it to the back, lock that layer. So this leaves watercolor image, we're going to need to divide it up into separate layers and name them accordingly. So we're going to separate them into branches, leaves, these sort of sub branches. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking this layer, I'm going to make it a guide layer, and I'm going to reduce the opacity to 20%, and then I'm going to lock that. So this is going to be just a guide whilst we're masking up and dividing the image into separate layers. So let's drop the leaves on again. So this is going to be our first masked layer, and we're going to start from the root upwards. So this is the main branch. So I'm just going to, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be quite loose with the masking, but you'll get the idea. So that's the first branch. So then I find the quickest way to sort of add new branches is like duplicate the layer, press M to show the masks, delete the mask, and then you're back on it with the masking. So that's the first branch. I'm actually going to label that branch main. Then the second one, actually, sorry, let's start from the root upwards. So let's mask this one next. I'm going to call that branch A. Duplicate that again, delete the mask, and then start working through these sub branches, I'll call them. That could be branch A1. Next branch. Branch A2. Branch A3. And then I'm going to start working on the leaves. So let's call this, first one will be leaf A1. I'll just take that one here. Just going to keep going through all of these. I'll only do this first branch to show you because this could take a little while, in all honesty. Okay, you'll see like as I'm duplicating them, they're automatically naming because I've got the last letter in the name is the number. So it's just adding a number to each one, which just saves a little bit of time. Okay, so let's take that. I'm actually I'll just do the branches for the next ones. So this will be branch B. I won't do all the leaves. This branch D is kind of a continuation from the main branch. But the more layers you have, really, the finer the detail will be in the animation. And sometimes, like there's an example where this leaf is overlapping the branch, but we can go in afterwards and tweak the masks if we need to. If this leaf moves and it looks weird, then we'll just adjust it accordingly. So, okay. So we've got all our branches now. I'm actually going to turn the guide layer off just to simplify this. And the next thing we need to do is adjust the anchor point for all these layers so that it's at the root of each branch and leaf. So this is the main branch, and then branch A goes here, A1, A2, A3, and then we've got leaf A1, leaf A2, leaf A3, and then these branches. Okay, so that's our anchor point set up. Now we need to parent them together. So we're going to parent each of the leaves to the sub branches, and then the sub branches to the main branches, and then the branches to the root branch. So let's just go up the chain. So branch A needs to be connected to the main branch. This branch A1 is a sub branch, so that goes to branch A. A2 goes to branch A. A3 goes to branch A. And then these leaves, some of the leaves are connected to the branch here, and some of them are on the sub branch. So leaf A1 is connected to branch A, yeah, as is A2. Let's just expand this a bit. A3 is on the sub branch A1. There's probably a better naming convention for this to make it simpler, but here we are. Okay, let's link all these together. So now, and then all of these branches, yeah, connect to the main branch. So if we were to take these now, just to test the rig parented setup we've got, if we take all the layers, I'm just going to hide those anchors there. If we select them all, press R to bring up the rotation keyframes and rotate them, you see that the movement we're getting, it already feels like a branch blowing in the wind-ish. But obviously, everything's moving at the same time, and we don't want to go in and have to animate every single rotation parameter. It would just be a complete nightmare. I mean, you could do it that way if you wanted to get very intricate. But we're going to link these together with expressions. So if we think about how a branch moves in the wind catches the leaves. They're sort of broader, and they catch the wind much quicker than the branches do. And as the force is exerted on the leaves, that then moves all these sub branches, which then moves this branch, which then moves the main branch. And so how do we do that in After Effects? Well, there's an expression called valueAtTime. So if you think there's a bit of a delay, like when the wind catches this leaf, it's going to take a little bit of time for the energy to reach the main branch. So let's go through that. So first of all, I think on the main branch, let's put a wiggle expression. So I'm pressing Alt, clicking on the stopwatch on the rotation parameter, and I'm going to type wiggle. For now, let's just do 2 and 10. So what that means is there's going to be, so 2 times every second, it's going to move by 10 units. And in this case, that would be 10 degrees. So let's click off there and see what happens. So if I scrub through the timeline, that main branch now is moving 10 degrees-ish every 2 seconds. Twice a second. So that's fine. So then what we could do is just basically take that expression. This is not the right route, but I think a lot of people would probably do this. Just copy that expression onto every rotation parameter. And the end result is, yeah, it's kind of like, that's a tree blowing in the wind, but it's pretty chaotic and doesn't really abide by the laws of physics. Everything's moving slightly differently. It might be a nice thing to do for sort of secondary assets, like maybe you had some leaves in the background that you just wanted a gentle movement or something, but we can do better than that. So let's keep that wiggle expression on the main branch. That's effectively going to drive everything. So to explain that, let's take the first branch that's coming off there. I'm going to put a new expression on there, and I'm going to say value at time. Sorry, let's start that again. I'm going to pick whip the rotation on the main branch. So that's saying this comp layer, branch main, transform rotation. If I was to just click out of that, it's just linking these two expressions, right? These two parameters. So, this is going to be exactly the same for branch A as it is for main. And the result is, very rigid movement. They're both doing the same thing at the same time. That's not what we want. So if I go on to the end of that expression and say dot value at time, and then say time let's go time plus 0.2. What this is going to do is it's going to take the value of this wiggle expression, 0.2 of a second in the future. So After Effects already knows, like when you put that wiggle expression on, it knows what value it's going to be in the future. It's kind of weird. But okay, so to explain that, let's just put time plus 1. So this comp set up at 25 frames a second. And just looking at these figures here, branch main is at, let's go to 25 frames. So branch main is 4.5 degrees and branch A is 4.1. Well, that's because in 25 frames into the future, branch main is 4.1. Okay, so if you look, that's now -1. 25 frames into the future, branch main should be -1. See? So it's taking the value at time of branch main 1 second into the future. This is +1. So +1 second, 25 frames. That's a bit too much. So that's why I'm putting 0.2. So if we were to play this now, you'd see, okay, so that branch is catching the wind and then it's moving the main branch. Okay. So now that we've done that branch, we can copy that expression and let's put it on all these sub branches. But instead of 0.2 into the future, I think we should put 0.3 because these sub branches are going to catch the wind earlier than this branch here. So let's go 0.3, and then we're going to put that on all the sub branches. Okay, and then we can play that, see how that looks. So you see how these are catching it first, and then it's affecting this main branch. So let's do the same on the leaves, and they're going to catch it even earlier, the wind. So let's put 0.4. Copy that onto all of these. And play that. Okay. You can really see it catching the wind there. The only thing about this is the leaves kind of look like they're hardly moving at all compared to the branches. The branches are moving massively. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to reduce the amount of wiggle on that main branch. 10 degrees is too much. So let's put that down to like 2 degrees, right? It's going to hardly move at all. And then from there, all these expressions that are linking to it, we need to increase the amount of rotation. So effectively, this branch here has more rotation than this branch. This branch, and this branch have more rotation than this branch. And all the leaves have the most rotation of all. So let's work up the chain, right? So branch A, let's times that by 2. Okay. Branch A1, which is the first sub branch, let's times it by 4. Let's try that. Let's copy all these into here, all the sub branches. And then all the leaves, let's times it by 7. That might be too much, but we'll try it and see. Okay, let's try that. Okay. So now it feels like they're blowing in the wind. The only thing I'd say is that all the leaves on this chain are moving at the same time now, because they've all got this time plus 0.4. And kind of want the leaf at the end to blow first. So let's put that up to time plus 0.6 maybe, or 5.5. And then these ones, leaf A5 and A4 can be 5. I'm just going to put a little bit of randomness in there. Okay, so 5, 5, 2. That one's 4. Maybe that's like 4, 5. And actually, maybe this one's like actually slightly lower than 4. Just putting some lower values in there. Okay, that's a bit better. So now there is definitely an effect of like physics going on. I might just put some of this leaf, maybe that leaf on the end, right, can rotate a lot more just to create a bit of randomness, like 14, right? Maybe this one, because it's further in, doesn't blow as much, so we reduce the rotation amount. Okay, that's cool. So now I'm going to go through and and do this for every leaf. I know this is supposed to be sort of saving you time, but some things just take a little bit longer. And really, you know, it's down to the fact that we are using, you know, this watercolor artwork. And what I could do is just, you know, duplicate chains of branches and just like, you know, take this whole section and duplicate it up here and then again, so that we don't have to use the exact artwork. But for a high quality finish, you know, we want to use this person's artwork properly. And yeah, we're gonna have to divide it up into individual layers like we have done for this section. Okay, so I'm going to run through that now really quickly, and I'm going to put it on fast forward because it's going to be incredibly dull for you to watch. Okay, so I've set this all up now, and it's all about making sure that the leaves that are you know, they catch the wind first, animate first, basically. So they start rotating, which affects the, you know, all the branches down the chain. So let's play that back. So I'm making the leaves on the end obviously not only catch the wind first, but also rotate a little bit more than the others. And just, yeah, so adding a bit of variation so that they're not all completely in sync. So once you're all set up as well, you can take the wiggle expression from the root and change it to change the animation. So if you wanted it to move quicker in the wind, you can increase the frequency parameter, which is the first one. You have much quicker movement, or you could have, you know, like a massive movement blowing in the storm. It's a bit crazy, that. Or you could have just like, just a really gentle movement blowing in the breeze very slightly. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. If you like what you see and you want to learn more, then like and subscribe, and I'll make some more videos. Cheers.